It's nothing. Imagine being on a road trip by yourself for a 14-hour drive and no radio. That's where we need allies. The radio is your ally, keeps your sanity. It's a companion, sparring partner, physical and verbal. It's their conscience, could be their comic relief as well. It also provides a sounding board for the hero, where the hero says, I'm going to go do this, and the ally goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, time out. Let's think about this for a minute. And the hero, they have a good dialogue about it, and the hero goes, okay, well, I'm doing it anyway. Now listen, I see it. It can work out any number of ways. There's so many different kinds of allies out there. Your epic stories, your trilogies or your 200,000 word epic tomes, those you need allies in there, just so it's not the hero does, the hero does, the hero does, the hero does, the hero. Just that gets old. The allies have to take action, and like Obi-Wan, the mentor, taking up the crown of heroism in that scene, allies can do the same thing. Allies can be heroic from time to time as it fits their character.
Okay, question. In that case, some allies become sidekicks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a sidekick is a type of ally. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
So Tonto.
Yes.
But I mean, as a sidekick, that sounds like that's a lesser person or a lesser
character. It can be. Yeah, it can be.
I think hear some people need to watch Sky High.
Sky High. Was it the superhero?
That was a superhero.
Where they train them to be heroes and sidekicks.
Right.
I didn't see that. But was it good?
It's funny.
Lots of okay ability, but...
So yeah, it can be sidekicks. There's so many different types of allies. And honestly, I was running kind of out of the room on the handout. So the book goes into some good detail and depth on the types of allies that can be found.
There's that one commercial that said nobody wants to. Everybody, they want to be Batman. They don't want to be Robin.
Right.
You don't see a lot of kids dressing up as Robin.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly. Yeah. The ally is sometimes the audience character, the point of view character. Like Watson and Sherlock Holmes kind of thing. And it does. There are so many types of allies out there. It can be like I've got one character bouncing around in my head. He's a warrior of God, so God is his ally. Not a sidekick, obviously, because God's a higher power and all that, but he can invoke the power of God and have physical things happen. It's a character that I've got bouncing around in my head that I've had for probably 3 or 4 years, but I don't have a story arc or a character arc yet. It'll come to me while I'm driving down the highway, I'm sure. So
pull off to the side.
So swerving back up.
As soon as you have no recording device, paper, or pencil around,
yes.
When it will come to
where you're exhausted and you go home and go right to sleep.
Yeah.
So don't just think of allies as the Lone Ranger and Tonto or Batman and Robin, that kind of thing. Allies can come in all sorts of ways. In Harry Dressen's books, he's got Toot Toot, which is a fairy that's his ally. But he has to bribe the ally with pizza to do what he wants.
I have to read these books.
They reminded me of the Pixies.
Pizza eating fairy.
They're pixies, and he actually goes so far as to create the Za Guard.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. It
A
reminded
whole
me.
bunch of the pixies that get together and arm themselves with toothpaste caps, and whatever else they can
Plastic
find
armor,
that's
like
pixie
cocaine
size.
armor.
Reminded me of the ones in
You
Patrick's.
would love the book.
Yeah. So it can even be organizations, governments.
Butcher's awesome.
007 has the British government behind him, full force. And, it's. I think in one of the more recent movies, he was like an outcast. He had done something wrong, so they shot him. But for the most part, he's got full force of the British government behind him to validate any and every action he takes, and that's a pretty damn good ally.
Who's that, Mr. Bean?
No, 007.
Oh,
Mr.
007.
Bean, yeah. So don't just think, don't limit your thinking to people when you're thinking of allies.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions over allies? Tricksters.
Loki.
Yeah, Loki. Perfect
Yes.
trickster.
Yes. Yeah, again, from movies, Axel Foley from Beverly Hills Cop. He was a trickster. He was constantly doing that stuff to get what he wanted out of people without them realizing it, because he was so outrageous and out there. When he barged into the highfalutin restaurant and wanted to talk to some highfalutin guy, and the maitre d' wouldn't let him in, and he started throwing a fit about my kids need shoes, and you better pay me what you owe me, and embarrassed the maitre d', and the maitre d's like, okay, fine, just go in, just leave me alone. That's a trickster. The key thing that the trickster does is it embodies a desire for change. So if the hero is being unwilling, he's an unwilling hero, he can be tricked into becoming a willing hero by the trickster. It also cuts down big egos, so you play that prank on the hero that has the big ego, brings him back down to earth. That could be a good thing as well. It basically just, they're enemies of the status quo. They don't like how things stand now, so they're going to do everything they can in their power to change it. Robert Jordan's series has the guy with the patchwork quilt, the
Tom
bald
Maryland.
bull. Yeah, he's pretty close to a trickster. He's also a mentor. He's also an ally. From time to time, he's a hero. So you can see one character can embody a lot of different things.
So they're more roles than characters.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Is that the whole hero with 1,000 faces? Is that?
I haven't heard that phrase, so maybe I haven't.
Hero with 1,000 faces, that's Joseph Campbell.
Is it? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
So, okay. And one thing that the trickster does is it likes to cause trouble just for the sake of causing trouble. I used to have a cat named Loki, and
Awesome.
we didn't know he was going to have that attitude until we'd already named him and it fit perfectly, so we kept the name. And
So which came first?
the name came before we knew he was a troublemaker.
Well, is that why you became the troublemaker?
Could be, yeah, yeah.
They named me this, I gotta play that.
Yeah. Actually, the core of the name was we had two ferrets at the time, one named Mischief, one named Trouble, and Loki is the god of mischief and trouble, so we got the cat after the ferrets and went from there. So that's actually the end of the archetypes, or the roles, or the character types. Any questions over anything that I just spent the last hour-ish talking about?
Well done, well done.
Well, we're not quite done, so
How on earth did you learn all this stuff?
read the book, and then read the book again, making notes by hand. I made 20-something pages of notes by hand, and then typed the notes off of my writing. So it was multiple ways of learning, because some people learn by writing, some people learn by transcribing, some people learn by reading. I'm kind of all of the above. So
Yeah.
by doing all three, I managed to learn this fairly well as I went. And I hope to have a chance. This is actually the first time I've given a presentation. I just flat didn't have time to practice it, so I hope it's not too rough.
I like the example of the cat, but I'm trying to think of another character example of a trickster.
Is it a pop machine?
No.
Okay, sorry.
I know of.
Sorry, thank you. Can I beat it for you?
No,
Okay.
you just can know you not know.
Okay, all right. Good, I'll do that. Thank you.
Other examples of tricksters, in Native American mythology, you've got the raven, the coyote, there's another big one, but I can't remember the name of it. Raven, coyote. There's another animal type that's a big trickster, but it's slipping my mind. But anyway, Loki is another one. Yeah, if you do like a Google search for mythology trickster, you'll find a ton of stuff, just a ton of stuff on it. So, now that we know the who is involved, let's figure out what they're going to do during the hero's journey. And it goes through these 12 stages. Again, if you follow this formula exact, you're not guaranteed success. I'm going to say that again. If you leave out a couple of things, you're not guaranteed failure. This is just an approach at telling a story. For my book, which has neither success nor failure yet, it's still in that limbo stage, I followed most of these, but not all of them. And some of them I realized as I was putting together the handout, oh, I did those in reverse order. But I don't think that's a bad thing. Maybe it is. Maybe that's why I haven't got the agent yet. I don't know. So you guys can read, so I'll let you just read those 12 steps. And
It's a 12-step program.
it's a 12-step program. Yes, it is. Yes. And this I took verbatim out of page 19 from the book. So, and there's something that's in the book that I didn't copy to the handout just for sake of brevity, but it has, let's see if I can find it real quick. Okay, so like for the ordinary world, he's got a page here with 6 questions. It's a section called Questioning the Journey. Well, actually, I take it back to more 6 questions. It's 6 segments with multiple questions in each segment. So basically, this entire page here, and it's, are you doing it right? Of course, in writing, right is subjective, so what he thinks is right may not be what you think is right. But it's some guidance for you to say, okay, I've got my notes about the ordinary world, I'm going to hit this page, and it'll ask me, the writer, questions about my ordinary world. Am I at least close to the target? That kind of thing. So, and I just couldn't transcribe them all into here just because it would double the length of the handout and all that good stuff. Plus, I wouldn't feel right just copying things wholesale out of the book and putting it on our website when this finally gets up there. So the ordinary world. What establishes the ordinary world? Well, it's the beginning of the story. When you first pick up a book off the bookshelf, what's the first thing you notice?
Cover. Yep.
Cover, right. And the cover is both artwork, who wrote it, the title of the book, style, the font they use.
Genre.
So the ordinary world is established before the person even opens the book.
True.
The back cover text exposes some of the ordinary world as well. So keep all that in mind. Now there's another key point here. You, the writer, have zero control over this unless you go with self-publishing or a small press. And even a small press, you don't have full control. You can make suggestions and they might pay attention to it.
If you're Stephen King.
Well, I'm talking
yes.
small press.
Oh, okay.
But it
Small press.
depends on the press, too.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but if you're being published by Tor, Del Rey, yada yada, Ace Books, any of the big houses, 9 times out of 10, the cover, actually probably 99 times out of 100, you've got zero say on the cover other than how to spell your name. And even then, they may suggest that you publish under a pseudonym if they have other authors publishing similar stuff with a similar name. So,
Now, a small press, though, like Twisted Library Press, actually encourages authors to go out and find cover artists they like. And if you're willing
Right.
to pay out of your own pocket for your cover art, you can do whatever you
Sure.
want. And it's Twisted Library Press. They do horror, zombies, that kind of stuff.
I could post some of my paintings on there.
But yeah, they actually encourage you to go out and find, so you do have control there.
right.
What
So
about
it
what
depends
you
on
do?
what route you go. So your ordinary world may or may not be within your control for that
They're open
initial
to the
first
idea.
impression.
Okay.
The pages, the words on the pages inside the book, that's more within your control. So that's where your prologue or your first chapter comes into play. It's like a blind date. You know the name, and you know what table you're going to be sitting at, and you know where you're going to be meeting the people, or the person rather, but you don't know much more than that. So it's those opening pages that are vital in setting up your ordinary world and the rest of the story. Because the story, if you follow this form, returns to the ordinary world, and the ordinary world will be changed. So you need to take that into consideration. How is page 1 going to be different from page 300? They're set in the same locale, same location, but they're going to be drastically different somehow, either through character perception or actual physical change of the ordinary world. The ordinary world provides us a baseline for comparison to the special world. Again, take